Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this first look, first impressions, early preview, I don't know what we want to call this, of the Familiar's Way self-development set by Jillian C. Wilde. So at the time you're seeing this video, this set is currently funding on Kickstarter. I will have a link to that down below. Now, Jillian lives local to me and actually brought me by a sample for me to take a look at and share with you guys. There's a few things to know about this, obviously, because it is a production sample and not the actual product. There are going to be some things I won't be able to show you because they're just not done yet, and I'll show you what I mean in a bit. But there's a few things that are done that I can definitely get into, and I've got some notes from Jillian and some other things that I can share with you that will hopefully help you to make an informed decision about whether this is a project that you would like to back or not. So I'm going to share with you what I know, both based on what Jillian has shared with me one-on-one, and then also what I've been able to ascertain by taking a look at this a little bit already. So it is a 3-deck boxed set. It comes in this gorgeous box like that you can literally put on your shelf. I mean, it's got a lot of spot gloss detailing. It's really gorgeous. I'm actually standing up so that I can show it all to you. There's a lot going on here, but the decks inside are the Familiar's Way Tarot, the Familiar's Way Oracle, and a Shadow Worker set. And the final product is going to be a little bigger than this because when Jillian came by to bring me this sample, we spoke about the fact that the guidebook that comes, the sort of workbook that comes in the Shadow Work set, is already grown in size by an additional 100 pages in the book, which you'll see the books in this are just massive. But so that's a thing. So it will be slightly bigger. Before we get into sort of looking at each of these and sort of peeking at the cards, and I'm going to show a full flip through of all 3 decks, so you'll get to see every single card in both decks as they exist currently. I don't know if there's any planned art changes, but as far as I know, there are not. So you'll get to see all the cards. But before we do that, I wanted to share a little bit about Jillian because this has been a big labor of love for her. She's been working on this project for over 3 years now and is just beyond delighted to finally be bringing it out. So a lot of you probably know Jillian from her Naked Heart Tarot, which just took, I think, the tarot world by storm for quite some time and was the first deck of hers that I got a chance to play with. But she's also come out with the Antiquities of Magic Oracle, the Pixie Pop Tarot, the Mystic Woodlands Tarot Charmed playing card set, like just other things. So Jillian is, of course, a fabulous indie deck creator, but she's also a shadow work and secure relationship coach and practitioner. She told me a little bit about this because I was really curious to hear what her systems were that she works within, because she does work with clients as a certified somatic coach, but she's specifically trained also in internal family systems therapy, IFS, which I had kind of in a weird synchronicity had some mild exposure to just the general idea of it when I picked up a little deck of cards that I'd found out about through TarotTube that were based on that IFS, internal family systems sort of system. It's just an intriguing thing for me personally because I do a lot of sort of inner child work and inner child reparenting, which to me sounds like it has sort of some loose connections to internal family systems. It's just something that interests me, but let me see if I can get back on track. So this set is really something that Jillian designed to be sort of this holistic personal development kind of, well, is that what she freaking calls it? I think that's what, yeah, self-development set, but it's tarot and oracle for personal development. And that is a huge thing that I use my own tarot and oracle cards for. So something like this that comes together in a kind of complete package really excites me personally. But we're going to take a look at each deck, kind of pour through it and talk more about some of the points, but these are all designed to work together, but you could obviously also work with them separately. Now, I know that Jillian is envisioning this as a set, as something that's going to have sort of components that work together, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to kind of honor it as intended for this first impressions flip through. So just so you know, that's sort of some background. Those are some little bits and pieces that I know about this project. And now let's get into it. Now, the box is designed so that you can basically just tip it forward and the decks just beautifully start to slide out, as you can see here, and then you can pull out whichever one you want. So we're going to be beginning in order, starting with the tarot deck. So let's take a look at that first, and then we'll get into the oracle and then the shadow work set. So it comes, each individual set within the boxed set has its own beautiful box. It opens like, it's like this glide when you lift it. It doesn't have thumb cutouts. That's something that I personally like to see in decks, but I'm not sure thumb cutouts in a deck box this big would actually do me much good. Can we just talk about the fact that there is a narwhal on the cover of this box and all of this gorgeous spot gloss detailing, which as somebody who geeks out about production things, this just excites me. Inside the box, it says, "Adventures are better with friends." And this is what I mean when I talk about how beefy this thing is going to be. So this tarot, now, spoiler alert, my guidebook is blank because this is a production sample. But you will have about this size of a guidebook to come with the deck. And the guidebook will have an introduction to the tarot system, some insightful card messages, journal prompts, a glimpse into the shadow, and some major arcana spreads. So there's going to be lots of goodies in here. Still again with the narwhal, I am enchanted. I can't wait to see what card that is. See, so my cards have moved around a little bit, but I have been not overly gentle because I've been flinging it around to show you guys and to like look at all the edges of the box. But inside you have this card tray that is, gosh, this is like, it's like cardboard. So a lot of times when you see these trays, look how it's reinforced. So it cannot, like a lot of times when you get this kind of tray, the concern is that you're going to get like it's kind of tears at these corners. There's like a weak spot and your box will tear. This feels really sturdy and reinforced. So that's really good to see. So inside we have cards that are gilded. It is a matte finish on the cardstock and a really nice mirror finish gilding. And these are 350 GSM, as are all 3 of the decks. So that's some good information and specs for you. We're going to get zoomed in and look. Now, I was seeing Jillian releasing images of the Familiar's Way on social media throughout the project. The first thing that I noticed when I first picked up this deck of cards and started looking at it is that every card has sort of a keyword or key phrase that you can work with. Now, that's not always everybody's cup of tea, but I will tell you when it comes to reading for myself, I love it. Because when I'm reading for myself, I want to get into the guidebook. I want to get into keywords or the author's or artist's perception or perspective rather on the card. I want more things to sort of use as jumping off points for reading for myself, because when I'm working for myself, I'm looking not so much for my own personal subjectivity. I'm looking for a source of wisdom outside of myself to help me examine myself, if that makes any sense. And I feel like that's kind of the entire point of this deck. And so in that context, I feel like having some keywords makes a lot of sense. So here we have the Fool and it's bravery. Well, actually, it specifically says Fool's bravery. We have this leaping person here with this dog, and I forgive me because I probably should have touched up my nails prior to this video, but I really wanted to make it. I love the streaming reddish hair. That makes me happy. And the streak, I don't know if you can see this, there's a streak of white in her hair, and I think that is fabulous. I love that so much. So we get this idea that we can be the fool at any stage of life. And oh, of course, it's worth mentioning, this is a very important point of this deck and the way that it works with the Oracle. Every single card in the Familiar's Way Tarot will feature a animal companion, and those are the companions you can dive deeper into working with in the Familiar's Way Oracle. So while I am going to do a flip through of every deck, we're going to talk about how to work with them together. So anyway, we have this gorgeous, looks like an Australian Shepherd, but I'm not always as good with my dog breeds, but that's what that looks like to me. Anyway, so we have the dog for the Fool's bravery. For the Magician, we have the Magician's Manifestation, and we have our zebra here with some colored stripes, which I love. These like ornaments coming down with the 4 tools or the 4 elemental symbols, and our Magician here is reaching up to sort of that universal energy and drawing it down, and as she's drawing it down, she's sort of like imbuing, it's almost like she's drawing down this color and imbuing it into the zebra, which is such a cool representation of that card. Healer's Intuition. So instead of the High Priestess here, we have the Healer. And the keyword here, or the message is Healer's Intuition. And she has the owl. The Triple Moon up here. I love that she's wading through the water. There's some pomegranates bobbing and some crystals kind of in this moonlit path of the water that she's walking. This is stunning. I love that she's got a little crystal at her third eye space. Here we have the Sovereign. Oh, so this is card 3, so this is the Empress, but we have Sovereign's Nurture, and we see sort of a pregnant person here with an orangutan, I want to say. Oh, you guys, my animal identification is going to be challenged. Y'all know how it is over here, but I love this. I love Sovereign's Nurture as opposed to the Empress. It's such a beautiful way to express this card. Oh, I love this. Okay, so we have Sovereign's Nurture for the Empress and Sovereign's Structure for the Emperor. I stinking love this so much. So we have the orangutan here. Is that a mountain goat? Question mark. I think so. We also have the ram over here. Or maybe it's a ram. Y'all, that would make sense, huh? Probably a ram. But there's a ram engraved into the mountainside here. I love seeing that sort of symbology tucked away in the card. Here we have Sage of Support for our Hierophant. I love this figure so much. Look at the little monkeys. Oh my God, I'm dying. I'm also liking the connection here to the rainbows. So we see a bit of the rainbow light here, the cosmic sort of universal energy coming in the Healer's Intuition, which is our High Priestess card. But we also see it really powerfully here in the Magician's Manifestation. So these are all sort of the magic, the figures in the deck that are sort of dealing directly with spirit world, but in different ways. So I really like that we have that cohesion across the symbology there. Oh my gosh, but look, he's got a little monkey there. It is, oh my God, so cute. Anyways, so monkeys. Okay, so this is Lover's Alignment. And these must be lovebirds, question mark? Oh, somebody's going to be shouting. I love that we see this rainbow of connection between the two of them. I think that's really beautiful. Chariot of Direction. Maybe hawks. Look at the tattoo of the Sphinx. It's as if she's going to have a tattoo of a Sphinx on each leg. That is a really cool image. I love that. I feel like there's a lot here you could work with intuitively, which I'm excited about. Here we have Strength of Courageous Compassion. I love this. Okay, so one of my favorite ways to work with the Strength card, particularly for myself, is really to look at the Strength card and the lion that is represented on that card as representing a part of ourselves that we need to befriend or harmonize, some wildness within us, or perhaps some shadow. And so this idea of courageous compassion, of looking that thing that we're maybe afraid of about ourselves in the face and then like sort of offering our compassion to it, is really powerful and beautiful. And I just love the communing that's happening on this card. It's really giving me chills. And we have the lemniscate up above as well. And of course, our animal for that one would be the lion. I love the polar bear for the hermit. Are you kidding? So this one is Hermit's Serenity. Yes, we see the northern lights in the background. That is so gorgeous. Oh, and the lamp is hanging from the polar bear's neck. You guys, I could do this all day, and we probably are going to, because we've got 3 decks that we're going to be looking at. So this is just get cozy, because this is definitely going to be a long video, because we've got 3 decks, and I can't shut up. So we have the Wheel of Optimism, a really interesting twist on the Wheel of Fortune here. Instead of thinking of it as just sort of something happening to you, it's also about perspective and sort of choosing your place on the wheel by your outlook, that idea of optimism. And the person underneath here, like the person sitting on top of the wheel, you get the idea that they're sort of looking change in the face and they're making peace with it. And the figure down here at the bottom has that different outlook, right? So you get the idea that your perspective and your outlook is going to affect how that wheel feels for you. Justice of Divine Truth. Oh, what was the animal here? Oh, we have the iguana, question mark. Now this makes sense, right? Is it iguana? Oh my gosh. I'm asking like you guys can answer me. I feel like possibly iguana, and they regenerate their tails, right? So if they lose their tail, they regenerate, I think. Justice of Divine Truth. This is really beautiful because it brings some of the somber energy of justice forward. And then we have a bald eagle here. Surrendered Perspective. And are these bats? I'm pretty sure those are bats on the card. And what's really interesting is that she's upside down, but her dress is still going the right way, like it's not falling down, and her necklace is also dangling down. You almost get the idea that she's like stuck to the ceiling, if that makes sense. It's a really interesting perspective on that. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm sorry. Sometimes my vocabulary fails me and I don't have interesting new ways to say the same thing, but I'm just really excited about this. So we have Death's Passage, and here we have a gorgeous, it's got to be a raven, right? Like, because they're so big, and that's definitely bigger than a crow. Death's Passage. Oh. Flow of Temperance with the swans. I love the little alchemical symbol there on her back. Well, it's kind of on her like lower back. Wow. It's sort of swinging above the sea. Oh. Wow. Devil's Shame. And we have a moth and a flame. I love this so much because moth and flame symbology for the devil really works for me personally. I love that she's in shadow. I love that she looks like she's not. It really helps us to go right to that feeling of shame attached to the thing that's been drawing us, right? Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Here we have Towers Dismantle. These look like crows. So this had to have been in the death card. The raven, right? I think that had to be a raven. I'm sure of it. So then we have the crows here in Towers Dismantle. Falling from the tower, the lightning bolts. Yes. And then Starlight of Hope. This is stunning because these are like those wishing lanterns where you really send your hopes off into the world. And then we have the lightning bug there. Oh my gosh. This is so well thought out. Moon's shadow. So here we get shadow as a key word, and she's swimming through the sea with a humpback whale. And then we have the wolf and the dog howling in the constellations and the full moon above. That is, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Sun's self-energy. Sun's self-energy. Self-energy is again, this is sort of hitting a lot of spots where how I personally work with the cards, again, for myself, for self-development especially, but the sun for me is often about disrobing and coming to a place of authenticity, and the white horse in the sun has a purpose, and in my opinion, the naked baby has a purpose in that idea of like showing the safety to be yourself, to really be authentic. And here, while our figure is fully clothed, I suppose he doesn't have to be naked, we get this idea that he's almost fallen off the horse, but he's choosing to like embrace the moment and just kind of laugh and be present and not feel like ashamed of just like being where he's at in the journey. Love that sunflower in the background too. Release of judgment. Look at this. It's like he's on the beach. There's like the sea behind him, and there's a reflection of himself on the ground here. Wowza. And then we have all these butterflies everywhere, but there's this idea that like it's almost like wings are sprouting out of the figure himself, if that makes sense, in this reflection here. I don't know if that's going to show on camera pretty well, but I see it here, and I really like this release of judgment. And then world of cosmic integration. And this feels like integration with self, right? This feels like this person here, and then a version of themselves that they've made peace with, that they've harmonized with. And we have the, oh gosh, ostriches? Are these ostriches? I'm going to feel so embarrassed if it's something else. Not flamingos, right? Those are ostriches, right? Maybe flamingos. Yo, I'm sorry. Don't come to my channel for animal knowledge. I'm not great. I'm not great in this area. Okay, so now we are into the wand suit. We have the Ace of Spirit. I love that we have somebody who looks a little older in life here, but we have that light of inspiration coming right from the solar plexus. Yes, please, to that energy. And a toad, question mark, toad? That's a toad, right? Yeah. Oh, here we have the orca again in the Two of Spirit. This is the Two of Wands. I love this little crystal ball behind her. I was going to say globe, but crystal ball. And you can tell that there's like a family of orcas. She's meditating. She's got her hands in not Anjali Mudra. She's got her hands in a mudra that I forget the name of because, oops. But I love this so much, like in a meditation pose. Oh. Then we have the Three of Spirit, and she's sitting what looks like on a shelf of books. Is that books? But interestingly, behind her, we have these little ships on the horizon. Like she's sitting somewhere that overlooks the sea. And there's a little caterpillar there on the card. And she has an artificial leg. Yes, I'm about it. And then we have the fireworks for the Four of Spirit. And these little socks and a grasshopper. Amazing. I love this. This is giving festival vibes. And then we have the Five of Spirit, where we see usually some kind of competition, and I don't know what kind of creature that is. That is not a bull. It's something with much longer horns, but the horns are like lit up and glowing, and this idea of them butting heads, so we get that butting heads energy. Then the Six of Spirit, the fire dancer. This is awesome with the horse in the background sort of rearing up. I love the wildness in that image. The Seven of Spirit with the elephant. It's like she's aiming this energy down here, like sort of defending it. This looks like she's actually casting some kind of energetic shield. Maybe I'm seeing that because I have energetic shields in the fire suit of my own deck, but like I'm feeling like that's what's happening there. It's as if she's like aiming the wand forward and it's creating this protective energy bubble. That's what I'm seeing. I might be inaccurate there, but that's what I'm seeing. There's some interesting thing happening here too in the unicorn. There's some interesting thing happening up here with the elephant's head. I can't believe I said unicorn. Jeez. And then Eight of Spirit. These are hares, like H-A-R-E, hares, I'm pretty sure. I love the joyful look on our faces. They're all running together. You really get that momentum vibe. I should probably stop picking them up. And then we have the tiger in the Nine of Spirit. There's a real determination and ferocity to this figure that's riding the tiger. I love that. A real diversity of types of people in this deck so far, which I really appreciate. Then we have the Ten of Spirit. We really get that feeling of being weighed down, overloaded. And this is a donkey, which of course is going to be able to carry a heavy load. Here we have the quartz. So we have, instead of page, we have curiosity. So we have the curiosity of spirit with the dragonfly. She's trying to catch it. I love that. And then the experience of spirit is a llama or an emu. I'm really bad at distinguishing those two, but it's one of those, which is obviously our knight. So we have experience for the knight. We have curiosity for the page. We have introspection for the queen. So introspection of spirit. I love her with all those sunflowers and the like way she's looking out from the card. I love that. And then the guardianship of spirit with these red pandas for the king. Love this Ace of Feelings so much. I love that she's like in the water with these gorgeous fish. I forget what they're called. I don't even know if I ever knew what they were called. And this cup that is not empty. It's like glowing, full of light. I love that. The Two of Feeling, we have the ducks. We have a mallard. And I'm guessing that's a male mallard and a female. And we have this couple just sort of lounging together, having this intimate moment. There's a caduceus actually in the sand here, which you almost miss it. Blink and you miss it for sure. Here we have the Three of Feelings. And these are maybe parakeets. I'm not sure. There's little birdies. And I love how different these figures all are, these women. I love how we've got different sort of life cycles, but they look like they could be middle-aged or older, which I really genuinely appreciate in a deck. The Four of Feeling with the succulents. I love it. Okay, what's this critter? It looks like a hedgehog. And she's just not having it. She's all prickly right in front of her. Yes, love that. The Five of Feeling, we're really in the grief. We have the jellyfish. She's submerged underwater, and there's like an anatomical heart sort of tucked in behind her, just kind of locked away or sort of in the depth of the ocean. And she's down here with her heart in the depth of the ocean. That's something, man. We have a cat in the Six of Feeling. And we see this, oh gosh, again, this person who's like, you know, she's got white hair, so she's an older person, like maybe middle age. And then there's this younger shadow of herself. Just, oh my gosh, this just, again, gives me chills. I'm really loving the age ranges I'm seeing in here. And maybe I'm loving that it seems to me like there's a little bit more in the middle age and up category. Maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, but I feel like that's happening. Here we have the Seven of Feeling. Her vision's obscured by this long, like this big floppy hat, but there's this, is this a Highland cow? Yo, am I finally figuring things out, you guys? Watch me be wrong, but still. We have a wolf, of course, and the Eight of Feeling. I love this, like, being with one's pack as we're leaving away, but this look back. The Nine of Feeling. Okay, this is always one that I'm looking for, is that Nine of Cups. I want to see something like this, something that speaks to emotional contentment, to gratitude, to looking around and realizing just how abundant your life is in that emotional sense. And I just really feel that here. It's got a really open-hearted feeling. Another deck that has this kind of a vision for me is the Everyday Witch Tarot, and the Nine of Cups has this kind of vibe, and I love it so much. So much. I love the water just all spraying like between her hands. The starfish, of course, is our animal companion here. Giraffes for the Ten of Feeling. And we have these two. We're seeing the back of them. Clearly in some sort of family unit here. But it's really opened up to different kinds of families. Oh, that's our Page of Cups. The Curiosity of Feelings. And it's a little penguin. I'm dying. For real. And there's a little fish on the cup. She's building a sandcastle. Oh my gosh. The Experience of Feeling is surfing. Oh yes. Oh yes. There it is. There it is. It's the Queen of Cups, and she has a narwhal. Okay, well, I cannot stop grinning, you guys. I saw some of the art as it was in progress on social media, and I wasn't sure, like, if this was going to ultimately be a deck for me, but this has been winning me. Like, I cannot tell you how much my face hurts from all the grinning I've been doing. But anyways, this is our Queen of Cups, Introspection of Feelings. I love that there's an eye etched into her cup, and that she's touching the horn of the narwhal. That just makes my whole heart sing. Guardianship of Feeling, which is our King of Cups, is here with a hippo. I love it. I'm here for it. Now we're into the sword suit, the suit of air, where we have the Ace of Thoughts. Again, we're seeing some just small signs of age in the ace. And again, I love that. I feel like this is speaking to those of us who we've been living. We need to unpack our crap, you know? And I think that's what this whole set is really meant for. But anyways, here we have the Two of Thoughts, and it's a lemur. And the lemur's tail is actually covering her up. I like that the swords are like, they don't look like weapons. They look like symbolic swords, right? They're shaped like feathers, and I really like that. The Three of Swords. Here we have real curling in on oneself. We have the heart stabbed by three swords. And the snake is wrapping around the heart. And snakes are a really powerful messenger when it comes to thinking about transformation and rebirth and like shedding our skin and like growing from our pain, right? So it's a really potent message, both numerologically, because threes are about growth and expansion, but also to speak to sort of the ways we recover from our wounds. The Four of Thoughts. This is so peaceful with the little deer, doe, fawn. I don't know. It's one of those. I love that. She just looks so relaxed. Here we have, oh, what is this kind of whale called? I knew it, but I can't remember now. But we have the Five of Thoughts, and there's sharks here. Is this also a shark? Maybe this is also a shark. Yo, I'm not very good at this. Anyways, so she's literally in amongst the sharks, and we're really getting this feeling of just the look on the face and this like idea of just sort of a little bit of cutthroatness happening here. We have the sea turtle in the Six of Thoughts. I'm surprised a little bit at the water in these cards, but this actually, when I'm thinking about what's happening here, especially in the six, this idea that they're being sort of buoyed up, that the sea turtle is helping the central figure here to sort of get to the surface so they can break the surface of the water and get a breath of air. That coming up for air feeling of the Six of Swords is really potent here. And I like that the swords are being dropped down to the bottom of the water, right? I really like that. The Seven of Thoughts, we have the fox. This is not an uncommon pairing for this card, and it does really work. What's happening behind this person's back? Oh, it looks like maybe she's looking into a chicken coop that's maybe been broken into, and there's some feathers flying around. Oops, I guess we know what happened there. We have the Eight of Thoughts, and these look like... they look a little like flying squirrels. I think they might be flying squirrels. We're pretty tangled up in here. This is more tangled up than I think I normally see in an Eight of Swords. The Nine of Swords, lots of anxiety here, and we have these are monkeys too, but are these different than the monkeys in the Hierophant? I'm not really good with types of see, we have these guys. Are these like baby gorillas? These might be baby gorillas. And then this might be, these look more like monkeys to me. Or maybe one of them is chimps. I'm really bad with this. I probably said it 8 times. I'm gonna stop saying I'm bad at it. But like, yeah. The Ten of Thoughts. Wow. It almost reminds me of like being at the beach and finding like beached fish. Okay, so these must be flamingos, right? These are flamingos. That's an ostrich. Okay, well, there you go. So we have an ostrich in the Experience of Thoughts, which is our, oh, these are backwards. Oh, no, Experience is the knight. That's right. So Experience of Thoughts, we have the ostrich. Of course, somebody's writing something. That makes sense. And then Introspection of Thoughts. I think these are magpies for the queen. And then Guardianship of Thoughts for the king. And we have a, don't know. I know it's kind of bird. I've seen it before. I feel like I should know it. I don't know it. And then we have our earth suit. So we have Ace of Somatics. Now, somatic work, as I understand it, is body work. It's like getting into your body. So this feels, and again, please don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'm just guessing from memory, but I think that's the point here. So this is going to be more focused on getting into your body and feeling grounded. And this is really beautiful because we have this person here who's got a ladybug on his shoulder. Okay, sorry, I got distracted by the ladybug. I'm sorry. Anyways, so ladybug is the companion here. But anyways, he's holding this pentacle, which is building and kind of pushing down roots into the earth. And also underneath him, you can see this red glow. Well, red is the color of our root chakra. So you feel as though there's this really strong bond between his seat and the earth. He's really feeling that point of connection, and he's grounding into the earth, leaning back against the tree. That's a very potent somatic energy looking card to me. We have this feeling of dance and bodily movement here in the Two of Somatics, and pelican maybe? Or crane? Looks like it could be a pelicans have a bigger, maybe that's a crane. Anyway. Then we have the three. Oh, I love that he's beekeeping. That's amazing. I love that. This Four of Earth being really in the earth, really kind of buried in it, with this pig helping to hold down some of the pentacles. Love that. And then we have the Five of Somatics, this glowing light behind her. There's resources there. We have the spider as our guardian, our familiar here. Well, it's a spider web. I don't see a spider, but it's indicated pretty strongly, I think. And then we have the Six of Somatics. We have camel. Having enough resources to sort of share is what I'm feeling there. Camel's holding so much. And then the Seven of Somatics, that's a sheep. And she's kind of energetically, it looks like she's drawing almost like a magical wool off of the sheep and then like spinning it and knitting it into these pentacles. I love to see that. That's really neat. And this idea of like waiting for the wool maybe to grow to be able to harvest it for, I don't know, shear it. What's the word for harvesting wool? To be able to pull it, to be able to do, you know, I don't have the right language for that, but the 8 of somatics, the 8 of earth, we have the rhinoceros, and we have this painting happening. So we're kind of perfecting the work in that way. And the 9 of somatics, I don't know what these are at all. No idea. But I like that this feels a lot like the 2, but more evolved. So we have the dance happening in this 2 of somatics, the pentacle suit. But then over here in the 9, it's like she's still dancing, but she's got that dance figured out. She's more relaxed about it. It's less tense. It doesn't require as much energy. She's built up resources around her. And then we have a family of buffalo, I believe, for the 10. And buffalo really have that association with providing sustenance for a big group of people. There's definitely that legacy vibe for sure with them. And then we have our page of, or our curiosity of somatics. And there's a little, is that a mouse? So cute. And then a bear for the night or the experience of somatics. A panda for the queen or the introspection of somatics. And a moose for the king or the guardianship of semantics. So that is the tarot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull out the moon card, which has a humpback whale on it as our familiar, because we're going to be referring to this a little bit later when I talk about the tarot and the oracle and how they work together. But let me do a quick shuffle so we can see how this shuffles. Oh, it's got some nice bend. That feels good. It's not going to be a stiff shuffle at all. It feels good. I can feel the gilding, but it's not got that thing where it's got a lip, like, you know what I mean, where it's like catching on one side. So it feels like it's shuffling really beautifully. So love that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. And we're going to get into the, I don't want to mess this up. Okay, let's just do this. I'll just put the cards away after. So that's the tarot deck. Let's take a look now at the Familiar's Way Oracle, which is designed to work with the tarot. It says reconnecting to the wild. Again, we have some beautiful spot gloss. I shouldn't have done that. Beautiful spot gloss detailing. I just made the cards fly around, but that was my fault. 80 oracle cards plus the companion book. So let's get into it. Yeah, this was my fault that they moved around because I like totally partly opened it and then like turned it upside down. So same thing. Again, these are blank, but you can see that there is going to be a pretty substantial amount of information in the guidebook. And this is a nice big size. Like there's the tarot card, right? Let me zoom this out a little so you can really see how big the books are. So they're a nice sized companion book. And then same thing with the tray. It feels just as reinforced at the corners. Yeah, this has got the same, let me just pull it out and show you again. So you can see they've reinforced it so that those corners aren't going to smush on you. And it's quite a thick cardboard. This is not like a flimsy little tray. So the idea is that you're going to be able to put your cards back in this, keep it in the boxed set if you'd like. I don't know if I'll be doing that or not. I'm kind of like, I usually pull things out and put them in bags, but like I'm so tempted to just sort of like keep things in their set because it's so lovely. Anyways, let's take a look at the backings. So this is what the backings of the Familiar's Way Tarot looks like, and this is what the backing of the Familiar's Way Oracle looks like. So let's set that off to the side. And this one has this gorgeous like rose gold edging. It's got like a earthy pink tone. I don't know how else to describe it. It's not like a bright, vibrant like Barbie pink, but it's definitely got a hint of like dusty rose. That's the color I'm thinking. Like a dusty rose colored. Ooh, okay. At least it tells us what the animals are. Now, my usual thing with animal oracles is I like to have the keyword or keywords on the card. So I might modify my copy to add the keyword or keywords so that I have those on there, because I like to be able to do that. But at the same time, we're going to be working with, I mean, like the idea is that you are working with the tarot and then you're working with the oracle beside it, like with it in harmony. So then I'm going to be into the guidebook. So like maybe it doesn't matter. Jury's out. But let's go through the cards. So we have bat, brown bear, and we should be seeing all the same animals we saw in the tarot. Buffalo. Looks like they are sorted alphabetically, which is great. Bumblebee, that would have been from the 3 of Pentacles. Butterfly from the Judgment card. Oh, I'm remembering. That's exciting. Camel was from the 10 of Wands. Was it 10 of Wands? No, it was 6 of Pentacles with having enough to share. The cat, the caterpillar, chameleon. It was chameleon. I was right. Oh, you know what I'm realizing? There's an echo of these cards, of these animals being in the same placement that they were kind of in. I could be wrong, but I feel like this was the placement of the chameleon in the Familiar's Way tarot. That could just be a coincidence, though. Here we have crow. Deer. So I was guessing like fawn or doe. So deer was right. That was the 4 of Swords, I believe. Dog, of course, from the Fool. This one seems to be in the same position. Dolphin. Oh, wait, I missed dolphin. Donkey. That was the 10 of Wands. That's right. Dove. This would have been not lovebirds. This would have been for the lovers card, I believe. And I guess lovebirds, and I think it was doves. Dragonfly. Duck. There's our mallard. There's our bald eagle. Elephant. Firefly. Fish. Okay, it just says fish. I bet it tells us in the guidebook what kind of fish. I shouldn't say that because I don't know for sure. Flamingo. It was flamingo. I was expecting them to be bolder pink on the card, I think, is why I didn't guess them right away. I should have, though, because that face is pretty recognizable. There's our fox. Frog. I had guessed toad. Giraffe. Goldfinch. That's what those were. Okay. Gorilla. They are baby gorillas for the Hierophant. Grasshopper. Hawk. I think I guessed falcon. Hedgehog. Oh, so cute. Heron. So not a crane, a heron. That was one of my guesses. Highland cow. I got it right. Oh, that's exciting. Hippopotamus. The white horse. Hummingbird. Humpback. So we're going to pull this one aside because we're going to be looking at a sample entry in the... Well, I have a written sample that I can read to you. Jellyfish. Ladybug. That was in the Ace of Earth. Ace of Somatics. The lemur. I feel like I got most of these right. Leopard. I might have missed the leopard. Whoops. Lion. Lizard. Llama. Not an emu. Magpie. Got that one right. Proud of myself. Monkey. Moose. Moth. Mouse. Narwhal. Yay. Orangutan. Orca. Oryx. This was the one in the 5 of Wands. Ostrich. Owl. Panda. Panda bear, it says. Parakeet. Oh, I guessed cockatiel for that one. Peacock. Okay, so I totally missed the head thingy. Yeah, I feel like I'm so used to seeing peacocks illustrated in cards with their like tails in full bloom that I missed it. Peahens can look a little bit like that too. Penguin. Pig. Polar bear. Porcupine. Oh, I missed the porcupine. Wonder if I thought it was something else. Rabbit. Oh, I said hare, but I think, are they actually separate species or is it just, yeah, I don't know. Ram. Red panda. Rhinoceros. Seagull. Shark. Sheep. Snake. Spider. Now the spider, just like in the card that it represented, I think it was the 5 of Somatics, the 5 of Earth, it was just the web. This is really nice if you're arachnophobic. So that's a really nice touch. Starfish. Sugar glider. I guess they're not the same thing as flying squirrels, right? But I had the jet kind of shape kind of right? Swan. Tiger. Turtle. Vulture. Vulture. Oh, that makes sense for death. So it wasn't a raven. It's way bigger than a raven. That makes sense. Wolf. Woodpecker. And there's our zebra from the Magician. Okay, cool. Let me shuffle these. And then we'll look at the guidebook entry for the moon and the humpback. So a little bit of how I understand that Jillian sort of created this deck was the idea that you could work with the tarot and then you could dive deeper into wisdom from the animal companion by getting into the Familiar's Way Animal Oracle, which is sort of the point of this deck, I believe. What did I do here? Did I? What have I done? Oh, here's the, I couldn't remember. Okay, so there's the box for that. I'm going to just pop those back in. Still shuffles just as beautifully as the tarot. All right, so I have just a typed out sheet with sample guidebook entries that we're going to look at together. So first let's look at the moon shadow. So let's zoom in on this card. And let me just grab my little paper. So let me bring this actually on so you can see this. So again, this is just a typed out like sample entry for this tarot card. So here we have a sample from the guidebook. So we get intuition, deep calling, and inner voice as our keywords for the card. Let me just, I feel like my white balance is getting thrown off by this paper being on here. Anyways, and then we have a familiar's way message. The humpback whale glides gracefully through the water with its sonar picking up slight changes of frequency, connecting to the heart of the ocean and nearby vessels, detecting danger and love. The pulsating frequencies of fear and love course through your body, transforming from shadow to light from one moment to the next and from day to day. They ebb and flow in tune with the rhythms of your environment and your surroundings. By plunging into the depths of your being, you can discover who you truly are, what has shaped your inner workings, and how to restore your soul. It all comes down to your choice, whether to remain bound by the darkness of the past or to open yourself up to the wonders of the present. The humpback whale calls you to unlock the wildness of your heart, to revel in the magic of song, dance, and creative expression. As you unleash your imagination and creativity, your intuition blossoms and you feel an unbreakable connection with all things. So, are you ready to let go of your fears and embrace the full spectrum of your being? The vastness of life is waiting for you, and the humpback whale is here to guide you on your journey. And then there's a shadow experience. So these are 3 journaling prompts. 1, have you been experiencing a block in your creative and emotional expression? And if so, what might be contributing to it? 2, are you allowing yourself the space and freedom to explore your creative and emotional impulses? Or are you restricting yourself due to fear or self-doubt? 3, what steps can you take to break through creative and emotional barriers and find a sense of flow and openness? So you get all of that just by working with the tarot card, right? Yeah, see, it was screwing up my balance. But anyways, then you can choose to go into the Familiar's Way Oracle and pull the humpback whale and sort of deepen that message. So let's just take a look here and deepen the message. Now you could obviously also shuffle and pull a different familiar into work with this card here. But so for the Oracle, oh, also in the tarot, sorry, I got ahead of myself. There's also here a tarot spread for self-reflection. So you have a tarot spread for working with the humpback whale. So you would have, and with the moon card. So you would have the depths, what fears or past traumas are currently holding you back from embracing your true self. The song, how can you tap into your creative energy and express your true self? The dance, in what ways can you connect with your intuition and the world around you to unlock the wildness of your heart? I love that prompt. 4, the ocean. What new opportunities or experiences await you as you let go of your fears and embrace the full spectrum of your being? The journey. What guidance or support can you expect from the universe as you embark on this journey of self-discovery and expression? And then finally, a message from humpback whale. It says, draw a card to receive a final message of encouragement and inspiration. So then we get into the Oracle companion guidebook. So here's our humpback whale card. And here you get more information about humpback whale to continue to support your journey. So here it says, expressing yourself as sort of a key phrase of this card. So I might, with this, write that on the card. I haven't decided yet. So then it says, humpback whale, a creature of the endless ocean of mystery and wonder. It swims unafraid into the depths of darkness where imagination waits to be revealed. It explores journeys that unfold over lengthy periods of time. The expression of its song ripples across the ocean. Explore this underwater world with humpback. Call on the humpback whale when you need assistance in expressing yourself and exploring your depth. Let it guide you towards discovering the words that truly resonate with your desires and aspirations. Trust in its ability to lead you through meaningful discussions that promote authentic connections. By aligning yourself with the energy of the humpback whale, you can tap into its profound depth and clarity of expression. You can learn to speak with intention and purpose, creating a ripple effect of positive interactions. The humpback whale is a majestic and mysterious creature of the endless ocean, embodying the qualities of curiosity, exploration, and depth. It is unafraid to venture into the unknown, swimming into the depths of darkness where imagination and wonder await. With its long and meandering journeys, the humpback whale represents the unfolding of time and the journey of life. Its expression of song ripples across the vast ocean, echoing with the power of its voice and the depth of its emotions. Let the humpback whale be your guide as you explore the depths of your own inner ocean. Embrace its energy of curiosity, exploration, and depth, and discover the mysteries and wonders that await you. So that's a really beautiful message you get by pulling the humpback whale oracle card. Okay, that brings us to the final deck in the set, the Shadow Worker deck, Embracing the Divine Darkness. So it says a deck of self-discovery and exploration of feelings, patterns, and behavior. So there's 40 shadow work cards plus a guided shadow work companion book, which is inspired by evidence-based therapeutic approaches to healing. So this is based on Jillian's experience with therapeutic healing approaches. It's an experiential guide to exploring your shadow from a relational healing perspective through the kaleidoscope lens of the tarot. Dare to live bravely and shine your light. Thrive, don't just survive. So before we get into this, well, actually, let's get into it first. So one of the things that I feel like happens here with this is we have this sort of light and shadow, sort of mirror imaging happening on the figures on the cover here. Again, lots of beautiful spot gloss detailing. This is what really blows me away about this. This is going to have a chunker of a guidebook. So again, this is just a prototype printer sample, so there's nothing happening in there right this second. But the book is supposed to have an additional 100 pages. So imagine this, but 100 more pages. And I asked Jillian a few questions about this. She said it's designed to be a guided workbook, which is what it says here on the cover, a guided workbook. And I asked her if that meant that there would be space inside to write. She said there would, but for anybody who really likes to journal, you might want to have a separate associated journal to work with, which is typically what I would do. But the idea of this is that it's going to very intentionally guide you through some very specific practices of shadow work. This is not like, hey, here's some shadow cards, now you're on your own. This is very much guided. And that was really important to me because I feel like with a lot of shadow work ideas and concepts, we're really struggling to figure out what it is we're trying to do exactly and what that looks like. And while I have my own methods that I've developed over years and years, because I first encountered the idea of shadow work when I was very young, I have my own methods, but at the same time, when it comes to telling other people what's a good practice for shadow work, it's nice to have some guided things to point people towards. And so I'm really, really excited about this aspect. And even more excited, she really described to me that this is really meant to help you do practices along with tarot. And of course, the Oracle deck in this set as well. So every component of this set is really meant to sort of interweave with each other and be this cohesive tool that you can work with in a number of ways. So that really excites me. The meatiness of the guidebook in this really excites me. Like I said, it's supposed to be another 100 pages thicker than what it is in this sample. So that's yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. It's perfect bound. The paper feels really nice, but yeah, nothing in it. So I can't show you anything, but she did share with me, I'm going to just move this out of the way first, a copy of the table of contents. So let's just take a look at what's kind of contained within this. So the introduction area talks about your shadow and light are welcome here, what it means to do shadow work, and a promise to yourself. And then it says, let's begin. What is the shadow? Healing the inner child, how the shadow was formed and how it works, the unknown and the known. And then it says, who and what are the shadow's team of protectors? Proactive protectors, reactive behaviors, projection, working in the shades of gray, our goal, grounding and centering, the 4 elements of healing related to the tarot and healing, the shadow, the light, and tarot. How to use this book, so what you need to get started, how the shadow work cards work, and then how this book works. So this is the practice overview. There are 5, she described that there are 5 very specific practices that this guidebook will take you through. Returning to self, which is about support, grounding, and getting clear. Tuning in, which is about feelings, intuition, and behaviors. Noticing, what draws the subconscious's attention. Inner critic and protecting the inner child is practice 4. And practice 5 is unwinding relational tension, becoming aware of false perception, and broadening your perspective. And then there's a section here on intention setting and calling in your guides. And then it says here there's 6 shadow work practices from approximately page 60 to 300. But we already know that the book has gotten bigger. So I'm assuming it's more than that. Mind you, 300 might be the expanded length. I'm not sure on that, but I know that it's bigger than the sample copy that I have. So that's a lot of really meaty stuff. And I took a quick glance at these cards before making this video, and I have to say these are hard hitting. When I first saw the image, the teaser of these on the box image, I was like, I don't know, man. But then I started looking at them and I was like, oh, okay. So these have kind of, I want to say, a gunmetal-y sort of colored gilding. And then the backs are pure black, just black. So there's 40 cards in here. Let's zoom in and take a quick look at them. Be better, the inner critic. Angry. Ugh. Anxious, yes. Betrayed. Look at how weak the lines are. This is so interesting too because the intensity of the lines really tell you what this emotion is feeling like. And these cards remind me a little bit of the sort of energy in the Reclaim Oracle. Not to make comparisons, but just to say that, like, I feel like this is something that can build on that sort of work to really acknowledge. Confused, like what? I don't know what to do. Yeah, this really feels relatable to me. Deflated. Disgusted. And there's this little light down here in the corner that's sort of like all by itself. Drowning. Oh, embarrassed. Look at this. Failure. Guilty. It's like prison bars. Heavy. Hopeless. Look how faint the lines are, right? Hopeless. Irritated. Oh God, it's like this perfect box, but this one little line is out of it. I don't know if that's the intent of like how this is illustrated, but that's like the first thing that jumps into my mind. Jealous. These emotions that separate us from others. Lonely. Look how small. Oh, my heart. Numb. Overwhelm. It's like that straw that broke the camel's back moment almost. Pressured. Rejected. This little light over here up against all of those. Resentful. Sad. Shame. Trapped. Unheard. Down here at the bottom. Ooh, this one. Unsafe. Unsafe. There's the little light. Unseen. Has almost no light at all. Weak. Avoid. Disassociate. Distract. Ooh, escape. Fight. Freeze. Just no movement. Just no idea what to do. Panic. Oh, what's this one? People please. This is what this feels like too. It's like you've got all these strands out to what everybody else wants and there's nothing left for yourself. Repress. Yep, all the energy is dampened. Only a little bit of white peeking through. Ooh, this one's shrink. Don't be seen. Shut down. And startle. Oh my goodness. These are potent little cards. Let me zoom out. So let me shuffle these. Oof. Again, this is the kind of thing that I wouldn't pull cards like this just like on any given day, like randomly. This is the kind of thing I would use specifically with a guided practice or with a very intentional practice to examine or unpack something. I would not pull these cards out like, oh, let's see what kind of day I'm going to have today. Because as you can see, they're all very difficult, intense feelings. And there wasn't like, we didn't see positive emotions in here. That's not the point of this deck, right? We're not seeing joy, gratitude, safety, security. We're not seeing that kind of thing. Whereas in a deck like Reclaim, you've got a mix of all the types of emotions and experiences. This is very honed in on the shadow, very honed in on what's going on for us internally. I really like how easy these are to shuffle. It's lovely. Yeah, I like that. So this is the kind of all three parts, I feel like I'm really intrigued to see the finished set, to see what the finished guidebook looks like, to see how it all comes together. I'm really, really excited about this, especially because I feel like we get a lot of questions, or I feel like I get a lot of questions. I don't know if other tarot creators who talk about shadow work get a lot of questions, but I feel like there's a lot of questions from people who are like, what shadow work? How do I do it? And it's for me, shadow work has always been a spiritual practice. It has not been something that I ever approached. While it has psychological implications for myself, I've never approached it psychologically, if that makes sense. My approach to it was always deeply spiritual and had psychological benefits. But for me, I didn't come at it from like a Jungian psychological perspective, and yet I've benefited enormously from it. So to have this like therapeutic or evidence-based method to kind of dive into the shadow has me really excited, especially with the idea that the guidebook is going to be something that can like sort of hold my hand through that process. And the fact that it's going to specifically sort of prompt tarot activities and journaling and that sort of thing, the kinds of things that I feel like can be really beneficial, I just feel like it could go hand in hand with the way that I practice and do healing work for myself. So that is the Shadow Worker deck. This one was the Familiar's Way Animal Oracle, or Familiar's Way Oracle. And then this is the Familiar's Way Tarot. I feel like this is just such a beautiful offering. It seems like it's really heart-centered, and that doesn't surprise me. Jillian's work has always felt to me to be deeply heart-centered, and I really felt that in the Naked Heart Tarot, and I really felt it in her other projects that she's done. But this just like is so cohesive. And just from the perspective of having these pieces all sort of designed to work together, I'm really, really excited about it. So, like I said, this is just me kind of going through it and sharing what I think, first impressions, showing the cards, letting you guys be able to make your own educated choice decision about what you want to do. But I will have a full, like I said, I'll have the link to the Kickstarter campaign down below. I don't think this campaign is going to be open for a terribly, terribly long time. I think you have a couple, 2-3 weeks or something like that to back the campaign. So please check it out if this is up your alley. Take a peek at it. You know, throw some love Jillian's way if this is something that excites you. And yeah, that is the Familiar's Way self-development set. I'm really excited to see how this whole thing shapes up. I cannot wait to get my paws on the books, on the full books. Really, really excited about that. But in general, this just looks so stunning. I know we use that word a lot. I'm out of other words, Joe. It's late where I'm at right now as I'm filming. But anyways, thank you so much to Jillian for sharing this with me so I could share it with all of you. And to everybody, I hope that this is helpful to you in making a decision about whether or not to back the Kickstarter. So thank you so much to Jillian for letting me get a peek at this and share it with everybody here on the channel. To all of you watching, thank you so much for spending the time to take a look at this. Let me know what you think down below. Check out the Kickstarter if you're interested in the description box. And until next time, may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye!